All right, hello. Today, today is July 25th. It is 2:24 p.m. And in front of me here is the Palace of Culture, the old Palace of Culture, just outside of Kirovsk in Russia, in the Siberian mountains. This is an industrial mining area. They mine apatite here, and there you can see some of the piles of rock and the mine tailings and the roads going up to the main apatite deposits. And I'm gonna explore this building. This is the Palace of Culture. Every Soviet town has one, and this is from the Stalin era, so probably somewhere, the 30s to the early 50s. And this was already abandoned during the Soviet time, but as you can see, it was left here. Now I've been here before in April of 2019, earlier this year, and yeah, so it was all covered in snow, so it's interesting to see what it looks like now. I'm not sure for how long it's been abandoned, but probably, well, if it was during the Soviet times, then definitely a few decades. You can see that there's no more ceiling, and there's plants and stuff growing here. But it's relatively clean, actually. I mean, there's some evidence of fire, some evidence of parties. Also quite a bit of soil buildup now. Rafters. I'll peek outside this window here. Yeah, so all of that was actually mined away during the early years of apatite mining here. And apatite is used for fertilizer. This was developed in the early 1930s, actually, as a Gulag project. But apatite, being used for fertilizer, was very important for Soviet Russia, given to enhance the food yields and food growth. So yeah, but this was a very large major settlement at the time, and the main reason why I'm kind of started using using a GoPro to record everything is to capture everything how it is, kind of the decay, the abandonment, all of the things kind of that continue and grow up and kind of exist as a site becomes abandoned and becomes kind of an archaeological object. This is a form of contemporary archaeology, the archaeology of the contemporary period, to see what happens to the things after us. Quite a bit of graffiti, not as much as I was expecting. I've been in buildings now that are just completely covered. This one is not as much. Here you can see some electrical equipment here. Now I'm not sure many of these rooms were used for. I mean, this is a big hall. Probably this was the auditorium. I mean, you can see the remains of the roof there, as well as the ladder, and the same on this side. Yeah, it's also interesting to revisit places from season to season to see how they change, to see how they look different, to understand how they are for different seasons. Like, this is quite lush, actually. In April there was still a lot of snow on the ground. All of this was covered. There was a lot of footsteps, which indicates that people do visit this place. And I mean, you can see some garbage and some modern refuse from people either using this for parties or using it for dumping garbage, which, you know, tends to happen at these abandoned sites. Got kind of these fake colonnades, very typical of kind of that Stalinist architecture, that kind of Soviet neoclassicalism. Yeah, would be interesting to actually get oh, there's some garbage. Yeah, as I was saying, it would be interesting to get a floor plan of this building, like how it was built. Well, it would probably require some work in the archives, but yeah, just to see what each one of these rooms were used for. Now, since then, of course, it's been heavily looted, though, I mean, you know, some burned, but look, you still have this nice, beautiful design. But yeah, it definitely is interesting what how sites evolve. And of course, the beauty of the GoPro is that you capture everything, well, at least that I turn my head and see. You can see and I can see, and you know, this can be revisited time and time again. Bricked up entranceway. Something used to be here too. It's yeah, interesting. Now I'm on the second floor now, and you know, this seems pretty sturdy. Famous last words. But yeah, lots of plant life, which is extraordinary. They start to colonize pretty quickly. There's my colleagues over there staring at the building, probably wondering where I am. Well, I mean, they know where I am. So again, you know, some garbage again, like very common ruin value for buildings. Also makes you wonder, in essence, you know, I am an archaeologist and have done archaeology for many years. It makes me wonder about the quality of our interpretations when you see all of this, you know, this historic building being used for so much dumping. You know, how good are our interpretations of, you know, medieval sites or post-medieval sites or Stone Age sites, if they were just used for, you know, tossing garbage by people for decades and decades and decades. Paint cans, archaeological evidence of graffiti. There's Kirovsk actually in the distance. It's kind of the rooftops are glistening in the sun. Not sure how good the video will turn out. Again, this is all an experiment to see how good the quality of the video is. Yeah, oh, probably cannot get to the second floor now. Lots of wood, lots of burnt wood, but and some garbage, yeah. But you know, for a place that's open like this all the time, I'm always surprised just by how little debris there is. I mean, maybe it's outlived its use value as a party place. Alright, I'm gonna go up. Ah, I guess you can get to the second floor. And look, so there's still some pipes left. Yeah. Lighter. Archaeological evidence of recent smoking. And this is actually a ski lift. In the winter it's used for skiing. And that's an interesting building. It was half built in the 90s, I believe. And even in as of April, it was like completely windowless and bare. And now somebody has taken it over after this many years to start renovating it. So then you have kind of this idea of, kind of this start and stop, that you don't have this kind of clear defined chronology where the things kind of stop and start and all of that. It's a beautiful shot of the mine works, and some more kind of, well, actually it's probably Stalin period, maybe. Actually they could be, yeah, I think they're from the Stalin period, and the new or newly renovated plant. Ah, yes, and of course everyone has to draw a penis. There's several penises on the walls, so obviously you can, what else do you draw, right? No, nothing creative. But well, sometimes there's a lot of creativity. Yeah. And finally, I think this is the final floor. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Great view, great weather as well. And then with lots of glass, very common. I'm sorry if I'm sniffling too much in the video. I just got through a lot of sneezing before I turned the video on. But yeah, it's progress. Love you. And there we are, back on the ground floor. I think there's another similar staircase over here, maybe. But this is basically the Culture Palace, and it's still standing after all these years, despite our hopes and ambitions that exist without us. Yeah, all right. And yeah, I mean, there's the basement, but I'm not gonna go down there without a flashlight, and I don't have a flashlight. So yeah, I guess I'll leave you with this view, and maybe climb up and take a few better pictures of the town. Alrighty.